Hey, this is Rick Brandenburg for Turf Bugs and Rock and Roll. And several years ago when I first started talking about retirement, my wife said, you really need to get a hobby. So the first thing that came to mind was buying classic, older front-engine Porsches and fixing them all up. So this is the current edition I have. It's a 1988 Porsche 928 S4. And in its day, this car was all that. High technology, high performance. It could, really do a lot of wonderful things out on the road. In today's dollars, 2020 dollars, this car would probably be close to $140,000. It's got a big V8 engine in it, a 5-liter, and by today's standards, again, the horsepower isn't all that impressive, but back in its day, it would propel this car to over 170 miles an hour. And in 1988, this car had a lot of really amazing technology that really set it apart. But again, by today's standards, that technology is pretty much run-of-the-mill, and you can get higher-end technology on a Ford Escape, for example. But that doesn't change that it's still a lot of fun to own and drive. So even though this engine doesn't have the output that today's modern engines does, you run up to about 3,500 RPM and it will get the job done. Still fun to drive. So what does this have to do with turf grass pest management? Well, let me talk to you a little bit about that. Let me get out first. So here's what this whole video has to do with turf grass pest management. This old car, it provides everything I need. Rarely is there a need for me to want to go 170 miles an hour. It starts most of the time, it gets the job done, and it's a whole lot less expensive than buying a new Porsche and insuring a new Porsche, so it gets the job done for the right price. We've got a lot of products that have been around for decades and decades, and typically they still get the job done. And I'm just going to use an example because it's one that's been around for 25 or more years, and that's imidacloprid. First came out under the trade name from Bayer as Merit. It's been around for a long time. Due to that fact and due to generic competition, the price is very reasonable, and it's proven itself to be an environmentally friendly and a very effective product for a long, long time. There have been other products that have come along that have a few characteristics that maybe make them a little bit better, and they typically cost a little bit more. So the question is, do you go with the 1988 Porsche that gives you pretty good performance, that's better than a lot of products, that's reliable, or do you go with the higher end that gives you a little bit more performance at an added cost? And the reality is that's up to you. If you get good performance out of a product that's been around for a long time, you're pleased with it, you know how to use it, it performs for the most part year after year after year, then that may be the one you want to stay with. If you think you'd like to tweak it a little bit and get a little bit better performance, then go ahead and go for the 2020, 911, GT3, whatever you want to get to step it up a notch. But we've had a lot of products that have been around for a lot of years now that still perform very well. They're kind of classics. So make the decision, put a pencil to the paper, see what kind of control you're getting, see what kind of control you'd like to get, and decide which product to spend. And I just thought it'd be a good time to do that as people go into the winter and they think about buying products ahead of time and getting specials and going ahead and purchasing those things. Look at what performance you've got in the past and make a choice. Do you want to stick with the one you've had for a long time or step it up a notch and go for higher performance? Hope that helps. Really, I just simply wanted to show you my car, but we'll see you again soon.